Hi, I'm Max Walker&Williams, and today I'm at E&M Glass. I have to be honest with you, we've actually already filmed the video you're about to see, and we're filming this intro after the event. What that means is that I can tell you from personal experience that this is such a fun thing to do. And if you've got any friends or family or yourself and you want a completely new experience, you've got to buy a gift certificate to try glass blowing because it is such good fun. And at the end of it, you get something to keep and cherish forever. If you do want to try glass blowing yourself, then just click the link in the description below that will take you to E&M's website and you can buy this experience for yourself. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's go inside. Okay guys, I'm now inside the studio and I'm here with Charlie and Amy at E&M Glass. Hi guys.
Hi Max.
I can't tell you how excited I am about today. I think we were just talking off camera before as we were getting set up, and I was saying that a lot of friends and family watch my videos because they're my friends and family, sure. But they've actually all said they're actually going to watch this one because they actually want to watch it. So thanks ever so much for the opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
As I've alluded to before, E&M Glass are the guys that are going to be behind the amazing chandelier that's almost 3 stories tall at the Hotel Chester. Yeah. I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it. I'm putting all my trust and faith in these guys. And we keep
no pressure.
Yeah. And I keep joking, there's no pressure because there's so much pressure. Charlie and Amy have very kindly invited us down to have a look and see the studio and see what goes behind glass blowing. I've got to be honest, I know a little bit about a lot, but I know absolutely nothing about glass blowing. So I really appreciate the opportunity to learn the skill and the talent. You know, it's a real art. And it is unique. You know, there's a lot of painters around and different forms of art, but there aren't many glass blowers.
No,
so
there's probably about half a dozen studios in the UK. And that's
is there 6? About 6 studios in the whole of the UK.
Give or take. We probably know most of them as well.
Yeah.
So.
It's a small community, is it?
Yeah.
Who's the best?
Me.
Yeah, there we go. So we're with the best glass blower in the UK. Can you believe that?
Do you believe that?
Yeah. He's worried now about the comments. I think you're fine. So, Charlie, just talk us around the studio. Sure. So obviously, all I know that is glass starts its life as sand. Yeah. So you get a bag of sand delivered, is it, or?
Well, we used to. We used to literally buy in.
Literally have it delivered?
Yeah, it'd be
batch.
Perkins.
Yeah, it's something called batch, but it's basically something between the raw materials, so it's like without it being processed or anything, so it's got the flux and the stabilizer and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
before it's melted at all, but all mixed and it kind of looks like sand, like pelletized almost.
Okay. It's a good 90-95% just sand, but there's obviously things in there to make it melt at a lower temperature, make it stable and that kind of thing. So you could melt batch, as we call it. Okay. We haven't been doing that for a while. We're actually melting coloured, which is the other side of the coin, is sort of already melted glass in that respect. So we're putting in basically broken glass into our furnace.
And is that specifically for this, or is it recycled?
Yes.
Or
Specifically for
so it's not glass bottles running in this?
No. Every different glass that you see has a different sort of makeup and a different recipe to it, depending on what it's made for. Okay. So your factory glass, your bottles, usually have a very short working life, cool down very quickly, and that, which is awful for what we need. We want something that you can work for a long time, and then we sort of anneal and we take all the stress out.
So we've got like a particular recipe that we use. So when we go to a particular company, they make that particular recipe that basically goes a long way.
Mad, isn't it? So there's companies that make sand and glass for specific different things, and they send you. Because I thought you were on Travis Perkins and said, "Yeah, can we get a ton bag of sand?"
Well, you could do, but in theory you could do that, but it's going to melt through. You don't know what's going to come out. It's going to be different every time. You're going to have weird colours going on.
Right. Okay, so it's not controlled. Yeah, it's controlling all of the ingredients, so you know what the cake's like at the end, effectively.
Basically, yeah.
Okay, well that makes sense. Yeah.
And also, we need to know that all the clear glass that we're buying in is compatible with all the coloured glass. Right. I mean, I was mentioning to you briefly off camera that as you say, glass is melted sand, whereas coloured glass is the same melted sand with different metals and minerals and chemicals sort of added to it.
Yeah, so like blue glass has a little bit of cobalt in it, green glass has a bit of iron, red glass has a bit of gold added to the sand, so that tends to be the most expensive colour to use.
Sure, okay, sure. And that all needs to have the same, what we call coefficient of expansion or sieving, meaning that as the material cools down and contracts, they're all moving within a certain degree of tolerance so that they don't basically pull themselves apart.
Okay.
So we need to know that our clear glass and our coloured glass and everything else we're putting in is compatible.
Reacts all the same way.
Yes.
If something dries too quickly, it shrinks or whatever, and it'll break the whole thing apart.
Yeah,
that makes great sense. Okay, so our sand's arrived, or our glass has arrived.
Yep.
What are we doing next?
Well, right behind you there, actually.
I know, my bottom's getting warm. I'm glad you've let me move.
Yeah.
So tell us about this amazing piece of equipment.
Well, this is our brand new little electric furnace, actually. We've built this in the last sort of few months, so it's a...
Sorry, you built it?
Yes.
Yeah,
you made it yourself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Well.
So he doesn't just make the stuff that comes out.
Charlie built it.
Yeah. Okay.
Royal we.
Yeah. Amy's jumping on that. Yeah. You made the tea and stuff. Yeah. So you helped. Yeah.
Well, if you think about how rare glass blowing is and how few glass blowers there are in the world, there's even less like people that make all the gear and the equipment and the tools and everything. So pretty much everything in the room here, with a couple of exceptions, we've made ourselves.
You actually made it yourself. That's amazing.
Yeah. Right, and then it's all tailored to what we want and the type of glass that we make.
That's
the way I look.
And if you're not happy about it, you've only got yourself to blame.
And if anything goes wrong, we know how to fix it as well. That's the
that's a good point. How do you learn how to make a kiln?
A lot of trial and error. I mean, we've been doing this game for a while now. I mean, the E&M Glass was set up by my parents. I'm actually second generation as well. So there's even less second generation guys in the country at the moment. So Mum and Dad met studying in uni.
Around about
the time I appeared, they set up the studio that we're studying now.
Yeah.
Before Dad went to uni, he actually trained as an electrician.
Right. Okay.
Which actually came in a lot more handy than you would have thought.
That's helpful. Yeah.
But then 30 years worth of building kilns and furnaces, you learn sort of little idiosyncrasies.
Just on the job, basically. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I guess another glass blower along the way that goes, I've got this tip for you and things like that. And
around the community, and you build off each other's ideas. That's nice that you all collaborate to get a better product. And is it a case of if something doesn't quite work, do you, Dad, Mum? Is there any of that, or
there's a lot of like, it stopped working and they come and get me these days.
Is it? Right, okay. All right, that's good to know.
Yeah, there's the four of us all working together, so really we're always constantly bouncing sort of ideas for new pieces, any sort of
such a nice thing.
That's
such a family business, but in every sense, even supporting each other, with ideas, not just emotionally and financially and stuff, but also they're coming up with better ideas, trial and error. That's really cool. So so we've got the glass. We're stood here. What do we do next, Charlie?
Okay, so inside our insulated box here, the furnace, our little mini electric kiln, we've got a ceramic crucible in there, a lining that's housing all molten glass.
So that's like a bowl,
a bowl, sort of a ceramic pot type thing. Okay. We've got all the glass in there in a molten state, so it's kept in there. Sort of 1150 degrees.
1150 degrees C.
Yeah.
Wow. That's hot.
We have to do like when we do demonstrations and stuff, we always say a volcano erupts at 1,000 degrees. This is 150 degrees hotter than an erupting volcano.
So a volcano erupts at 1,000 degrees are we talking centigrade? Wow.
Yeah. So
and that's at 1,150.
Yeah.
It's amazing. What happens if does it get too hot or?
Only if you tell it to, really.
if it gets too hot, you'd notice it because it becomes very, very watery, very viscous. You can't get it out.
Right,
you can't really use it then.
Right. Okay.
We sort of vary the temperature a little bit depending on what it is we want to make. We might want to do something like sand casting, for instance. We want it to be a bit runnier, so you'd probably come along with a late sand casting.
Okay. What's sand casting?
If you were a similar process to if you think of bronze casting.
Okay, yeah.
Where you'd make a mold in sort of the sand, like a refractory sand, that red stuff. Okay. Yeah. You could take a ladle of glass and pour that into the same sand.
Into the mold. Do it
that way. Okay. Usually want it a little bit hotter, a bit runnier for that.
To fill all the crevices and things.
Sure.
Okay.
You couldn't gather at that temperature because it's like water. You couldn't get it on the end of a blowing iron and work with it. It's just too hot. So we, vary the temperature a little bit depending on what it is we're doing.
Okay, so standard vase.
Yep.
We've got it up to 1,150 degrees centigrade.
Yep.
Now, do you come down in the morning, just bang it on?
No, that one has to stay on.
Stays on forever?
Yes. Yeah,
Wow.
well, when we're on a burn.
When you're working. Yeah,
exactly.
You don't go out there. If the insurance company's watching, they don't go out with it on. Yeah.
Well, the site we're on as well, we live here as well, so that's actually my bedroom up there.
Right, okay. Oh, that's handy. Keeps it warm.
Yeah. So there's always somebody around when stuff's on.
Yeah.
But it'll take about 2 or 3 days to get up to that temperature.
Wow.
Yeah. Now,
wow. Why so long?
Well, we could, in theory, we could crank it up and be up in a couple of hours, but that pot I mentioned, the ceramic lining, is quite fragile.
Right, okay.
And in the same way that the glass has to, contract and heat up and cool down as it does, the ceramic, you have to treat it the same. So if you heat that or cool that too quickly, it's going to crack.
It cracks. So it's really to look after. It's not that it can't do it, it's to look after your equipment.
Yes.
You give it a long life.
Yes.
You bring it up slowly.
Yes.
A couple of days and then it's ready to go.
Treat it gently.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, that's good to know. Right. Okay. So we're now molten. So it's all melted and it's in the crucible.
Yep.
What do we do next, Charlie?
You want to get some of it on an end of a blowing iron. Okay?
A blowing iron. Is that one of these?
That's
rods?
one of these poles that we've got here.
Okay.
Stainless steel tube, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Steel
Now
tube.
the glass will only stick to the metal if you preheat the metal. You can't stick hot glass onto cold metal. So we've got to preheat the tips of them, get that nice sort of orangey red colour that we've got going there.
Yeah.
You dip that into your pool of glass and turn, and it sticks on the end of your iron and comes out.
Okay. Like a toffee apple kind of thing.
Like a toffee apple.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
Like having
Without the
a
apple.
jar.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get that on the end of the iron, and then you work with it depending on what it is you're making. You might blow down it, make it nice and hollow. You might work it solid, sort of push it around all over the place.
So once you've got your honey, your mass on your rod, on your toffee stick.
Yeah,
you literally then you can blow, and is it literally just like blowing a bubble?
Sort of. I mean, there's a bit of an knack to it.
Okay.
The surface tension is quite high initially, so if you just blew down the iron, just blew down it and do anything else to it, you're blowing all day and nothing's going to happen. It's too high. You've got to break through that surface tension to get the process started.
It's resisting. It doesn't want to expand. Okay.
Yeah. So what we actually do is a little trick that's called thumbing.
Okay.
Whereby you blow down the iron very quickly, seal it with your thumb, so you trap the air inside the pipe.
Okay.
You're then using the heat from the glass itself to heat up the air.
Yeah.
Hot air expands, but because you've sealed it, it can only go into the glass.
You're a clever man,
So that breaks the surface tension, but once there is air in there, you can just, and as long as it's hot enough, you can blow.
And does it push against your thumb, or you can't even feel it?
Not too much.
No,
you can't feel it.
Right, okay.
After that, you would just blow and breathe gently down the iron. The hotter the glass is, the softer it is, the more it's going to move. So you just breathe gently down the iron.
Yeah.
If it's colder, you just battle it. So you end up just trying to blow harder and harder.
And how do you know when to stop? So it's expanding. Is it just you know how much on the stick, so you know how much it'll expand? Is it just learning your practice? Just learning your craft.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Knowing your material, it's that sort
knowing
of trial
what
and
you're
error
making,
kind
what
of thing.
thicknesses you want to.
How thin you can take it, the mix.
Exactly.
God, there's so many different variables, isn't there? You can really, wow.
I'd say take anything from about 7 to 10 years to sort of proficient.
Right. Well, I've got 20 minutes before I'm having a go. So 7 to 10 years if you're good, and I've got 20 minutes. Okay. And then, so behind us, so we've got that, and we know what the kiln is, and then once we've got our bauble, for example, dip it in water.
Yeah.
Because that's how I imagine it in the films, or is that ironmongery?
That's blacksmith.
Yeah, blacksmith.
Got a good smith. Mate, he's a blacksmith, actually.
Right.
Yeah. No, in the same sense that if it cools down too quickly, if you rapidly cool it, it's just going to crack. It's going to shatter.
Yeah.
So we actually have to cool it down very slowly.
Okay.
So we put everything that we make through the day in a separate kiln called the Lear.
Right. Okay.
And hold it at what's called the annealing temperature. So we even everything out, in this case 510, and then bring it down nice and slowly, under a controlled.
So in the same way that heats up slowly, you cool everything down slowly, and then everything's fine.
The dangerous bit with glass is anything between about room temperature and about 500 degrees. So you do that bit slowly, you get it over 500 degrees, you do whatever you want with it. And then, if it drops below that on its own, it's going to crack and explode. So you have to take it through those dangerous temperatures nice and stable.
Okay, so it's like flying an airplane. They say it's hard taking off and landing. But with flight you can do what you want. Okay, well that makes sense.
I'm going to use that.
Yeah. You're welcome. Okay, so once it's cool, you can then do anything with it. Do you then add anything to it? I see the designs and things. Are they done retrospectively?
Some things are.
Some are.
Is the silver gilded, or is it part of it? Or?
No, that's done hot.
We do that hot. Most of what we do, all the colour we add hot.
Okay.
And a lot of the patterns that you'll see next door, and I'll take you around. we'll add a skin of colour, and then we'll mask something and etch it or sandblast it back.
That's once it's cold.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Once it's room
you can work,
temperature.
once you can
Yeah,
work.
that's the whole other side of the building. That's Mum's domain.
Right. Okay. So that's where Mum comes in.
That's where Mum. That's Mum's
Give it
bit.
here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's cool.
basically.
You mentioned that this is electric.
Yes.
Does that cost a fortune? And why? I would assume everything was gas. Why electric?
At the moment,
Actually, cheaper.
it's cheaper for us to be running an electric one than a gas one, but we do
Wow.
have a gas one as well.
Yeah.
And we have a tendency to flip between the two depending on which is the cheaper rate.
Okay,
at the
yeah,
time.
right, okay, so that's quite cool. You can flip
Yeah.
between the two.
Yeah.
And I guess with solar and all the way that electric's going, it's the future, I
Absolutely.
guess, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah.
That's the reason it is. Obviously, to be more energy efficient and also renewable.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
future-proof,
Right,
yeah.
Future-proof,
Especially where
this
we
is it,
live,
yeah.
and it's so beautiful. It's like very much a reminder on your doorstep kind of thing.
Yeah, on your doorstep that you want to look after where you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
I quite
good.
like the
That's
idea
good.
of, in time having a good sort of 20 odd solar panels just running that thing.
Just running that off, yeah, and then you've got your margins then would be a lot better, because I would imagine that's one of your biggest costs, isn't it?
Sure,
It is.
yeah. It's bottom line, it is one of the biggest margins, and I suppose the dream of not having to worry about the gas bill is probably
It's
what
probably
we're
one of the
shooting
main
for.
things. Yeah, okay, that's good. So behind us,
Yes,
we've
this
got
one's gas. This one is
beer
gas.
barrel looking thing that's
Yeah.
clearly very, very hot inside.
Yeah, that one's actually the hottest piece of kit in the studio at the moment. That's currently 1,200 degrees.
Right, okay,
Maybe a
so
touch
50
over.
degrees. So, like, to put that in context, it sounds like nothing. That's 150, and this is 1,200, 1,200, and that's
Yeah.
1,150. But, like, a really hot day is 30 plus, 40.
Yeah.
So that's like a really hot day's
That's a
difference.
really, really hot day.
Really
Yeah,
hot day's
yeah.
difference, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it doesn't sound like much, but you can get a real feel for when you're working with it. This is actually called a glory hole, this piece of
Okay.
kit. If that's set too low, it'll take a lot longer to heat things through than you think. Why isn't this quite working? Oh, I need to turn the pressure up a bit, and then
Right,
you get a
okay.
feel for it.
Even though it's a small little hole at the front, it's clearly designed to have the heat reflected in.
Yep.
You can still feel right here the heat coming off it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So how close do you have to be when you're working? How close do you have to get?
About here.
Yeah.
So you maybe think
So about where we are, really.
give or take.
So
Yeah.
about where we are.
Yeah, so it's
hot, isn't it,
positioned
doing it
nicely
all
so I
day?
get a good view of the.
Yeah, and you've got the breeze
field
coming
out
in
there.
off the door there. Yeah, no, that's nice.
Yeah.
Okay, what else have we got in the studio, Charlie? Can we do
Colours, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, so all these little tubs, obviously they're all colours, all bright. I mean, that's really bright, that orange.
Yeah.
Tell us when are these powders and these colours introduced, Charlie? Is it right at the beginning?
Yes.
Okay,
Usually
so-
setting up your colour is one of the first things that you do when you're blowing a piece.
Okay.
Depending on what effect it is we're going for, we might be putting colours on the inside or the outside. As we know, everything we do is predominantly clear with different skins of colour added at different stages, depending on what we want to do with it later on. So all of what we're looking at here are our sort of frits and powders. So all of this would typically be added to the outside.
Okay.
of the
Oh, right.
nails.
Okay.
We'll have a go at this in a bit, but we take a gather out of the furnace, and then you would literally roll it through some of these powders. Now this is all glass as well. It's all sort of coloured glass that's been ground down into a really sort of fine consistency, actually varying consistencies of what we've got here. But because all these particles are so small, as they come into contact with the molten glass from the furnace, they instantly stick and heat up and fuse onto the outside.
Okay, how cool.
Yeah, so you can then heat that through, and you've got a nice even skin of colour.
And you've got light apple, gold,
Yeah, gold, ruby,
cherry
yeah,
red,
yeah.
brilliant gold, black.
It's funny with all the metal properties that are in there. So we said before about the clear glass is just sand. You add different metals and minerals to the sand to make the different colours. Those metal properties can still be present in the glass.
Right.
So all the colours behave differently as well.
Right,
So
okay.
blues and greens tend to be quite soft, quite easy
Sure,
to blow.
yeah.
Whereas like your oranges and your reds and stuff like that are quite stiff, quite hard to blow up. So all those properties from the metal are still present in the glass, which is like always about I'm trying to actually figure that out.
I bet, yeah. So if you had sort of like red, which you said is one of the hardest,
Yep.
and green is one of the
Soft.
softest.
Yeah.
What do you do when could you mix those two colours or?
You can. You just try and
have to
balance
be
it out.
careful with getting some reactions.
Yeah, that's the other
occasionally,
side of
'cause
it.
If you touch certain colours, if you touch them directly on the end of the iron with all the heat and everything, you can get like weird hazings and sort of
But
different
the same way
shades
the
coming
metals
through.
would react to each other
Yeah.
if you try
Yeah.
to like weld them together and
Right,
stuff like
okay.
that. That's still
God,
present as well.
There's just so much to it. You don't realise.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You can usually get around sort of problems with reactive colours by putting them on sort of different layers. So maybe you're going to build up a multi-layered piece where you'd have like, you could put like
blue on green
blue
on purple
on
or
inside.
something,
You get a layer of clear in between that, and that you get around most problems. But one of the big issues is because they move at different rates. Obviously, you've got harder and softer colours. If you want to blow something out and you've got like white on one side and green on the other side, it's going to blow out.
You can also use that to your advantage, so you can use the metal and mineral properties and make your own reactions.
Sure.
Right.
So
This
you get like
is your game,
well,
isn't it?
yeah,
You
yeah,
play
that's what I
with
like
this
to
a
do.
lot.
So you actually then gold, believe it or not, is not reactive on the periodic table. When it comes to glass, it's actually most reactive colour.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right, wow.
I don't know what it is, whether it's back to the gold oxide or whatever. So if you use something like I've used quite a few times, amethyst gold. So it's got that bit of gold in. You put it with a green or a blue or anything like that, and it creates all sorts of weird halos and different marble effects and rainbow effects and all that kind of thing.
Wow.
So you can actually use it to your advantage.
And you can't
as
predict what it's going to do. It's going to do something organic, whatever it wants to do.
Yeah,
Wow, it's amazing. So it's one of a kind then, even more so.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's really good.
If it looks hot, it is hot.
Yeah.
If it looks cold, it's probably hot. Are we good to go? Yeah. So if you're happy, we'll get some glass to give this a go.
Yeah.
Okay, Max, I'm going to pass this to you now.
Thank you.
All right, so we're just going to roll this up and down the bench a bit with just your left hand only.
Yeah.
Getting a feel for how the glass is moving. Okay?
Yeah.
And we're coming back. Just trying to keep that on centre for a couple of turns. All right, I'm going to let go of the iron now, mate, so this is all yours, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm off.
So cool. It's mesmerising, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like working with a lava lamp.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Why do I want to touch it?
Yeah, don't. Right, that's looking a little chilly now to me, actually. So whenever you're ready, we'll hop out and give that a heat through.
Okay.
Just your left hand until you're out of the bench if you could.
Yeah. I've just done that.
Yeah, it's all right. Step around, I'll get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to stay in there with that, keeping it turning until you feel the glass starting to move a bit more. We get a nice bit of movement, nice bit of flow in there. We're going to head straight over to the colour on that metal tape. So that's starting to move a bit.
It is, yeah.
We saw that by being able to let it droop back on centre.
Yeah, moving there, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So whenever you're happy here, if we head over to the colour and rolling straight across. Good, so working the sides and back towards me. Cool. Right, I'm back the other way. Now at the end of this one, you're going to lift up, you're going to tuck your elbow in and point up on the top there, all right?
Yeah.
And turning. Cool.
Yeah, back or not?
Yeah, go back again.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. And just to even out as much as anything, one straight on the sides now, all the way down.
Yeah.
Probably a bit of pressure here.
Okay.
Just try and squeeze it straight.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. Right, we'll give that a heat through, probably get another coat of this, I think. That colour on there, you can already see that grainy texture, yeah?
Yes, yeah.
So when that heat starts to heat up,
yes,
that'll glaze over. That's telling you that the outside surface is hot and up to temperature.
Okay.
So you could, at that point, go and pick up some more colour if you wanted to.
Yeah, okay.
The hotter you get it, the more you can do with it. So in this instance, the hotter you get it, the more colour you're going to pick up.
Yeah.
So go a little bit past that bit. Let's get a bit more movement in the core again.
Yeah.
We'll pick up more colour on top.
Okay.
Do you reckon you get that back on centre again?
I reckon I could, yeah.
Onto the sides, yeah. And we're going to roll on.
Yeah.
That's it. Good, and back. Now when you're on the tip, I want you to think about supporting the weight of the iron and just letting the glass sort of fall into the colour.
Okay.
Okay? Right. That's it.
Yeah?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. All right, so one more on the sides again.
Okay.
Okay, I think we'll go with that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So we'll heat that through. Need a little bit more heat in there this time than they had last time because we're going to go for those chips next.
Okay. What would happen now if you put it back in the can to get more glass?
Okay, well, you'd have to let it cool down a bit.
Yeah.
Because if you go in too hot, you'll end up with that falling off and contaminating your pot.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to build up like more clear glass on top of that, that's definitely something that's
yeah,
doable.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's how we do sort of larger pieces.
Yeah, right.
So you'd build up in several layers, and it gives you the option of putting a layer of colour in between and that sort of
Okay.
Yeah.
It really is limitless, isn't it? The options and the different sort of, even all the way down to the raw materials, as you said, and then the colours and the different effects, and how quickly you cool it, and how quickly you heat it. And
quite interesting, something that me and Amy are working on at the moment. She's been sort of revisiting some of the things she did at uni. She did these cane pieces, we call it.
Right,
so essentially, if you look at these things here, basically a little bit of colour that you sort of stretch a long way.
Yeah.
And she's gone back to doing some of that, but then forming it into large panels.
Right, okay.
I'll show you in a minute, actually. There's some of the things we took to the framers yesterday. But then, because we're now working together, and I like doing sort of more this kind of thing, we've actually been doing some kind of collaborative pieces, or we're working on a sort of a collaborative idea whereby she makes a panel, and then I roll it on the end of an iron, and it becomes like a 3D sort of fused piece. And some of these little ones down here, sort of the first ones we're working on.
Yeah.
Sort of playing with the idea. Something that we do between the four of us, actually, because you always sort of work in a team, but because we're all typically speaking, you go to a studio, you have like the gaffer, the assistants, and that sort of thing. But the four of us all kind of work together.
Different dynamic. Yeah.
So we all come at it from a different angle.
Yes.
So, sort of bounce off each other as well. Feeling, is that moving yet?
Yeah, it's definitely moving. I'm just trying to get a little bit more shape there.
Well, don't worry about the shape of it just yet, because we're going to end up bashing it about.
The colour.
And then we'll heat that through again, and we'll shape it with a newspaper. So
okay, brilliant.
Whenever you're ready, we'll go and get those chips.
Yeah.
And that's it. Just keep it turning as you go.
Yeah. So we go for the chips, shall we?
Yep, exactly the same. That's it. Oops. So just bring your back end down a little bit. There you go.
Yeah, I noticed that because the shape.
Yeah, you're okay. All right, let's get some on the tip.
Okay. Yeah, you happy with that?
Very nice, yes. I think whenever you're ready, we'll come over to the bench and have a go using the newspaper.
Okay.
Right.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah. Now we want to use that heat now, so as quick as you can into the bench.
Right, okay.
All right, open the gate, let yourself in, good, straight in.
Yeah.
Grab your newspaper. That's it, and good. Yeah, go for it. All yours, you guys. Cool, and elbow out, round onto the ends. Okay, split the difference now, just come back a bit. Back to about there, sorry. Yeah. Hey, not bad for a first one. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah, call out there.
Okay.
Nice and even, okay? It's quite flat on the end there.
Yes.
We'd be looking for a sort of bit more of a taper, but we'll go with that.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to put some air in there for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay. So just touching the sides, right up to down on the sides of the glass, and off, right off. Right, push the iron away from you, and blow and turn. Starting out gently, good, good. Stop there. That's perfect. Stop. Okay. There you go. All right. Okay, so we're going to give this another heat. Next step is to get the jack line in. All right?
Okay.
Now, when you're cutting these in, you want to be about ½ an inch, a centimetre, so just keep that moving for now, mate. So just over where you see the end of the iron. All right?
Okay.
You're going to start straight, put an angle on it, and then go straight again.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Stop there. It's all right.
Yeah.
Actually, that is a perfectly serviceable jackline. That is absolutely fine.
Is it? Right.
That will do the job nicely. So to finish this off, another heat through.
Yeah.
Touch the jacks onto your jackline. So just using the metal to chill down that area.
Yeah.
Kind of follows on from what we did with the newspaper before. We're going to cool down the bits that we don't want to move.
Yeah.
Chill that down with the jackline, push the iron away from you, and blow this out into a nice round ball. Okay. So you're going to heat, jack, and then blow. Keep turning, right, grab your jacks. Yeah, and on, and off. Okay, that's not bad at all. I've just paused you there because we give this another heat and do the same again. Right, I'm going to get it to come down a little bit firmer on the jackline this time, just to tighten it down a little bit. Okay. Nice and firm with that. Okay. Easy, and off again. And short, sharp blow will even that back out. Go now, and weaken that point so we can break it away. All right, that looks quite firm now. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Right, let's swap for the file. So off with the jacks. Just shake off the excess water there. Good. And from the inside. Yeah. And score on your jackline. So that way. All right, back and forth. Really saw it. That's it. That's plenty. Right, stop there. Right, ditch that one. Metal straight up in the air. You just hold the blade there for me. Sure. That's it. And give the metal a tap with the handle. That's it. Great. I'm going to drop that in the bin there. Okay, Amy. Yep. There we go. There we go. Yeah, it's not hot or anything, but.
Thanks, Charlie. That was absolutely amazing. You saved the day there at the end when I felt like I panicked and I was losing it and it was twisting up.
All right, it's well made.
So, obviously, I had to get out of the way and it became a lot more surgical. You look panic for time and things. Yeah. But just explain the last little bit there where you took the bauble, finished, I tapped it off and everything was cool and calm, and then it was all panic stations. What's happening there? Right.
Well, at this end of the process is where the glass is at the coolest it's going to be when it's working. And if it drops below that sort of crucial the annealing point, so around about 510. If it drops below that, it's likely to go into thermal shock and crack. Right. And crack quite violently as well. It can sort of explode all over the place. So we've got a very sort of narrow window to get that bit done there. So what we did once you tapped the iron and the glass came off at that sort of nice weak jackline that you had there, we dropped a little bit of molten glass on the ends because it was still hot enough to fuse a loop on. Yes. And then it went straight into this bad boy here. So that's our Lear, or an annealing oven. So we're now going to hold that at that crucial annealing temperature, that 510. Evens everything out, so all the different thicknesses, all the different colours are all exactly the same temperature. So we soak it there for a good hour, and then we come down very slowly, sort of incrementally, around about 30 degrees an hour, something like that. So that'll basically sit in there until tomorrow morning, at which point that'll be nice and stress-free, and room temperature, you can take it out and handle it, and job done.
Job brilliant. Can't wait to see it. So we're going to have to come back tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Great excuse to come back. Thank you very much. So we'll come back tomorrow morning and then we'll be opening the, what's it called?
Lear.
We'll be opening the Lear, or is that what it's called? Or
it's called the Lear.
Right, okay.
I didn't call it that.
Right, okay. We're going to open Bob. We're going to open the Lear. And
Dave.
And we're going to see what I've made. Probably a mess compared to Charlie's, but we're going to have a look. Hi guys, okay, we're now back at E&M Glass and hopefully they're ready, the baubles are ready, Charlie, and they're going to look amazing.
Well, it's all cooled down, so let's have a look.
So this is the big reveal. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, it looks good.
Does it?
Good, yeah.
Which one?
There's your one, mate.
Oh, wow. It's not too bad, is it? Oh, look at that, Bill. Oh, I made up with that, thank you very much. Cool. That's amazing.
You made it.
I can't believe how heavy it is.
It's got a good weight to it.
Yeah. What do you reckon that weighs?
What's that, like 300 grams, 300 grams, something like that?
It's amazing, yeah. It's surprising how heavy it is. You know, you see a bauble, most baubles, and they're like this, but this has actually got a bit of weight to it. Yeah. Let's see yours. Is it as good as mine?
It's bigger.
It's bigger. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I was really, really happy and proud of mine until Charlie got his out. And it is bigger, and it's rounder. but mine looks organic. I think that's fair to say.
It's organic.
It looks handmade, doesn't it?
Handmade.
Yeah, that looks factory made, and that looks. Look at that one. It's a bit wonky. Oh, I'm really happy with that. I'm really proud, and I know the children are going to be made up. So that's got the green tinge because it's a sort of Hulk smash motif, and this one is Frozen, which is blue and white for the girls. Oh, I'm really made up. Thank you so much for that. I'm going to cherish
You're very
those.
welcome. You're very welcome.
And it's been so exciting and so amazing and such fun to do. I really, really recommend this to anybody who wants to try it or try something new. It's an amazing experience. And the end result is something that you can keep forever. Thank you so much again for having us, guys.
You're welcome,
you're
Max.
welcome.
You're welcome.
I was just leaving. Bill and I were just packing up. And then Charlie and Amy have just presented me with this wonderful box. And I just want to show you guys. They've got the branding on top there, the logo, EM. And look at these baubles. I mean, it kind of makes mine look worse again, but so I'm kind of a bit upset about that. But look how stunning they are. And the way the pink swirls around from the top look and goes all the way around and then finishes at the bottom. They're smooth, but they're also kind of rough at the same time. Look at that for a gift set for somebody for Christmas or a birthday. It's absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it interesting. And if you do want to try it for yourself, star in your own video, you know what to do. Click the link in the description below and it'll take you to E&M's website. If you enjoyed this video and you want to support our channel, support Bill, you've got to think of Bill, and you want to support local artists, then please hit that subscribe and notification bell and you'll be notified when there's more videos like this ready for you to watch.